Imagine a world where your life isn't measured in years, but in seconds. A world where a glowing digital clock on your arm dictates your every move, because time isn't just money, it's life itself. This is the dystopian reality where our story, in time, begins. We're dropped into a society starkly divided, not by wealth, but by time. The rich are practically immortal, their clocks displaying centuries, even millennia. The poor? They wake up each day fighting for every last second, wondering if they'll even make it to the next sunrise. In the heart of this brutal system lives Will Salas, a young man from the ghettos. Here, everyone runs. They run to work, they run for the bus, they run to get home. If you slow down, you die. It's a relentless, exhausting existence. Will and his community are caught in a vicious cycle of poverty. The moment you turn 25, your body stops aging, but a 1-year timer on your arm starts ticking down. From that point on, everything has a price. A cup of coffee costs you minutes. A bus ride costs you hours. Every single moment of rest is a luxury that could cost you your life. Meanwhile, the wealthy live in a completely different reality. They are effectively gods, protected by walls of privilege and unimaginable time. They can live forever, eternally young, as long as they keep accumulating more time from the poor. Their lives are slow, deliberate, and free from the constant fear that haunts the ghettos. Will's life takes an unexpected, dramatic turn when he saves a man named Henry Hamilton from a gang of time thieves. Henry isn't just any man. He's a mysterious, disillusioned rich man with over a century glowing on his arm. He's tired of his endless, empty existence. He sees something in Will, a spark, a will to live that he lost long ago. In a quiet, desperate act of rebellion, Henry transfers all of his remaining time, over 100 years, to Will. Then, with his clock empty, he lets himself die. Suddenly, Will is a time millionaire, a status unheard of in the ghetto. He has more time than anyone he's ever known. But before he can even begin to process this new reality, tragedy strikes. He rushes to meet his mother, who is literally running out of time. He sees her in the distance, her clock flashing red, counting down her final seconds. He runs towards her, his arm outstretched, ready to give her years, decades of his newfound fortune. But he's just a few seconds too late. She collapses and dies in his arms, her clock hitting 0. That moment shatters Will. It's not just heartbreak, it's a declaration of war. He now has a singular mission: to burn down the corrupt system that stole his mother's life and countless others. He's no longer just trying to survive, he's seeking revenge. With his stolen century, Will embarks on a journey into the forbidden zone of the rich, New Greenwich. It's a world apart, a place where people move with a slow, unhurried grace because they have all the time in the world. Their clocks show decades, centuries, even millennia. Just crossing the border into this district costs a full year of time, a price that instantly makes Will a target. Every step he takes in this new world drains his fortune, a constant reminder that he doesn't belong. As he navigates this land of the immortal elite, he quickly understands the cruel logic of their society. The system isn't broken, it's designed this way. It's engineered to keep the poor in their place, working and dying to supply the rich with an endless stream of time. The rich aren't just living longer, they're living off the lives of the poor. In New Greenwich, Will seeks out the architects of this system. He meets Sylvia Weis, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men alive, a man who controls the flow of time itself. Felipe coldly explains the brutal philosophy behind their world. It's a form of Darwinian capitalism, where for a few to be immortal, many must die. He sees inequality not as a flaw, but as the very foundation of their stability. Determined to shake the foundations of this world, Will walks into a high-stakes casino where the elite gamble with years and decades as if they were poker chips. He sits down at a table, risking everything he has on a single hand of poker. It's a reckless, audacious move. He's surrounded by people who have never had to worry about running out of time, and he puts his entire life on the line. But this gamble isn't just about winning more time. It's a statement. He's proving he can play their game, that he can outsmart them on their own turf, and that he isn't afraid of them. Will's bold entrance into the upper echelons of society doesn't go unnoticed. His sudden appearance with a massive amount of time sets off alarms. The timekeepers, the ruthless police force that maintains the status quo, begin hunting him down. They are the guardians of the system, and they see Will as a dangerous glitch, a threat that must be eliminated. Leading the chase is a veteran timekeeper named Raymond Leon, who is as relentless as he is principled. But the hunt for Will leads him to cross paths with someone who will change the course of his mission and his life. Sylvia Weis, Philip's own daughter. Sylvia has grown up surrounded by infinite time and luxury, but she's bored and suffocated by her gilded cage. She craves excitement, a taste of real life, something her sterile, predictable world can't offer. When she meets Will, she sees a danger and a vitality that both terrify and fascinate her. He represents everything her world is designed to keep out. Their encounter is explosive. Initially, she is a pawn in his game, a hostage he takes to escape the timekeepers. But as they are forced to run together, Sylvia begins to see the world through Will's eyes. She experiences the fear of a ticking clock for the first time. She witnesses the desperation and injustice that fuels her father's empire. The theoretical concepts of poverty and death become terrifyingly real. Their relationship evolves from captor and hostage to partners in crime. They become a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, but instead of robbing banks for money, they rob time banks to give back to the poor. They steal time capsules from the Weiss family empire and distribute the stolen years and decades to the people in the ghettos, causing chaos for the system but giving hope to those who had none. Their acts of rebellion create ripples throughout society. For the first time, the poor have a fighting chance. They have enough time to stop running, to think, to organize. The system, which relies on keeping everyone on the brink of death, starts to crumble. Will and Sylvia become symbols of revolution, their actions inspiring others to fight back. The final confrontation is inevitable. Will and Sylvia decide to go for the ultimate prize, Philip Weiss's personal vault, which contains 1,000,000 years. It's a seemingly impossible heist, a direct assault on the heart of the system. They know that if they succeed, they can destabilize the entire economy and give everyone enough time to live. But standing in their way are the timekeepers and Philip Weiss himself, who will do anything to protect his immortal paradise. The climax is a thrilling race against time in every sense of the word. Will and Sylvia, with their own clocks ticking perilously low, must outsmart the security, outrun the timekeepers, and confront the man who embodies everything they are fighting against. It's a battle not just for their own lives, but for the future of their entire world. Will they be able to topple the system, or will time finally run out for them? This is a story that asks a powerful question. What would you do if you had all the time in the world, and what would you risk to give it to everyone else? With a determined timekeeper named Raymond Leon hot on their trail, Will and Sylvia are on the run. Leon is a man who believes in the system, no matter how cruel it is. He's convinced that order must be maintained at all costs, and he sees Will and Sylvia as a direct threat to that order. For Sylvia, this is a whole new world. She's gone from a life of unimaginable wealth and endless time to being a fugitive, constantly looking over her shoulder. For the first time in her life, she feels the icy grip of fear, the terror of watching her own life clock tick down. It's the same fear that millions in the ghettos live with every single day. This terrifying new reality completely shatters her sheltered worldview. The system she once benefited from now seems monstrous, and this shared experience of desperation brings her closer to Will. They're forced into hiding in the very ghettos Sylvia once looked down upon. Here, in the underbelly of society, Will becomes her teacher. He shows her the unwritten rules of survival. He teaches her how to be quick, how to be clever, and how to steal just enough time to see the next sunrise. She learns how to bargain for a few precious seconds and how to move through a world where a single wrong move, a moment of hesitation, could cost you everything. Their bond deepens with every narrow escape. What started as a desperate act of rebellion for Will is now something much more personal for both of them. They aren't just fighting for their own survival anymore. They're fighting for a new world. They decide it's time to stop running and start fighting back. They begin to plan their first major strike against the system that has oppressed so many for so long. Their first target is a time bank, one of the very institutions that hoards time and keeps the poor in a state of perpetual struggle. Their plan is audacious, and the execution is flawless. They don't just rob the bank. They redistribute the wealth. They flood the streets of the ghetto with time. Suddenly, seconds, minutes, and hours are flowing like a river. For the first time, people can stop running, stop struggling just to live another day. They can breathe. Children play without a care, and families share moments they never thought they'd have. It's a beautiful, chaotic scene of pure joy. But this act of generosity, this moment of liberation, is seen as an act of terrorism by the wealthy elite. Sylvia's father, Philip Weis, is beyond furious. His own daughter has betrayed her class, her family, and everything he stands for. The timekeepers, led by the relentless Raymond Leon, are enraged. And they aren't the only new enemies they've made. The mafia, the criminal organizations that profit from the scarcity of time, see Will and Sylvia as a direct threat to their business empire. They control the black market, loaning out time at exorbitant rates and keeping people trapped in debt. By giving time away for free, Will and Sylvia have disrupted their entire operation. Suddenly, our heroes find themselves caught between two powerful and deadly forces. On one side, they have the official law, the timekeepers, who want to eliminate them to restore order. On the other side, they have the criminal underworld, the mafia, who want them dead for ruining their business. There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. This is the moment Sylvia truly transforms. The pampered heiress is gone, replaced by a hardened revolutionary. She sees the system cruelty with her own eyes and understands the injustice she was once a part of. Her resolve hardens into steel. She stands shoulder to shoulder with Will, not just as a partner in survival, but as a true partner in revolution. She's ready to fight, and she's ready to die for their cause. During their desperate fight for survival as they dodge both timekeepers and mobsters, Will and Sylvia stumble upon something incredible, something that could change everything. They discover a hidden vault, a secret stash belonging to Sylvia's father. And inside this vault is a treasure beyond imagination. 1 million years of time. A literal lifetime of lifetimes. This is enough to end the struggle, enough to reset the entire system, enough to bring true equality to the world. It's the ultimate prize, the key to their revolution. But just as hope begins to bloom, they're confronted by Sylvia's father, Philip Weis. He warns them that their plan is a fantasy. He tells them that real, systemic change is impossible. The elite, the 1% who hold all the power, will never let it go. They will always find a way to maintain control, to preserve their wealth and their endless lives. He paints a grim picture, telling them that anyone who dares to challenge the system, anyone who truly threatens their power, doesn't live long. It's just a chilling warning from the man who helped build the very system they're trying to tear down. Is he trying to protect his daughter, or is he just protecting his own empire? The chase finally comes to a head. Raymond Leon, the unwavering timekeeper, finally corners them. There are no more escape routes, no more clever tricks. It's the end of the line. In a final desperate confrontation, with their own clocks ticking down to their last seconds, a choice has to be made. In a moment of pure selflessness, Will does the unthinkable. He transfers all his remaining time to Sylvia, saving her life at the cost of his own. In that single act, he proves a profound truth. In this world obsessed with time as wealth, the most valuable thing you can have isn't 1,000,000 years in a vault, but the willingness to give your own time to someone you love. This act of sacrifice is the ultimate rebellion. It's a message that resonates far beyond their personal struggle. It challenges the very foundation of their society. The story of Will and Sylvia leaves us at a crossroads of rebellion, sacrifice, and the enduring hope for a fairer world. It serves as a powerful reminder for our own lives. In a world that constantly pushes us to accumulate more, to climb higher, and to hoard our resources, we often forget the one thing we can never get back: our time. This story asks us to consider what we do with the time we have. Do we spend it in pursuit of wealth and status, or do we share it with the people who matter most? It's a question with no easy answer, but it's one worth thinking about. Their journey is a testament to the idea that even in the darkest of times, one act of defiance, one moment of true connection, can spark a revolution. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. See you next time.